spaghetti, or spaghetti bolognese as we say in Australia. This is a kilo, which is about 2.5 pounds of ground beef, or mincemeat as we call it in Australia. This is a 500 gram or pound and a half of roughly spaghetti. This is linguine actually. You can use any pasta, it doesn't have to be spaghetti. We like linguine. So I've broken this in half inside, and we're only going to use half a packet for the two of us. And we're going to add a little bit of this. This is just a brand in Australia of like a tomato based sauce. It's got a bit of red wine and basil in there. We're going to use 1 onion and a couple of cloves of garlic in the actual process. And as you'll see as I go through, a little bit of, this is dried parsley. You can use fresh parsley. A little bit of black pepper. And a couple of teaspoons of Italian herbs, which is a mixture of herbs. And probably just a little bit of salt. So let's get started. I'm going to be using just the one pot method again, but there'll be 2 pots in this case, one for cooking the actual spaghetti bog or the mince and the sauce, and another pot to boil the pasta. Now I always cook my mince first, and then I'll just take it off and put a clean towel over the top, and then I'll cook the pasta. I can reheat the sauce very quickly, so when the pasta is ready, reheat the sauce and then I'll show you what it looks like. But let's get started by putting up some onions and garlic and a little bit of olive oil. Let's turn on the burner again. It's on sort of medium to medium high. Add some olive oil because we're going to do the onions and garlic. We'll cook them to about 50% and then we'll start putting in the beef. So I need a knife. And I'm just going to show you a little trick with cutting an onion. Sometimes people try and cut it on a board and it moves around. Well, all you do before you cut it is cut down one edge like that. As you can see, it's now got a nice flat edge, so I'll quickly just cut this onion up over here, put that bit in. Let's put the onion in. Break it up a little bit. Alright, so we're just getting the onion started. Now with the garlic, there's plenty of methods. I've been doing this so long, I'm quite happy to do this in my hand. No, I won't cut myself. Been doing this for a long time. Doesn't have to be regular sizes. This is just chop away. And if you see a bit of green in your garlic like that, that's okay. Some people go, oh, I'm not eating that. It's fine. It's just basically garlic that will start to shoot shortly, and you could plant it. The smell as soon as you put garlic in the oil, unbelievable. Okay. Let's get the wood on the spoon. And this will take 3 or 4 minutes before I'm happy that it's sort of half cooked, if you like. So I'll turn the camera back on when that's done. Alright, that's been a couple of minutes, so all I've done is just broken up the onion rings. So the onion breaks up into smaller pieces. Like I say, that's probably half cooked. Now you saw the kilo or 2.5 pounds of mince. I'm only going to use half of this in this dish because I've got a plan to make a different dish with the other half tomorrow. So half of this will be going in, like so. No, you don't leave like that. Just little wedges. Okay, spread that out, pop it up a little bit, get that out of it. That will do. Now, like I say, the onions are only half cooked, but they're still cooking. Along with the mince that started, and like with most meals, I season my meat as I'm about to cook it. So I'm going to put in some black pepper. A little bit of salt. And this ground beef or mince is 80-20, so it's 80% meat and 20% fat, which is flavour. You can get lean mince, but it doesn't taste the same. It loses that flavour. That's my opinion. Alright, so we've had the pepper, the salt. I'm going to show you, this will be about 2–2.5 teaspoons of Italian herbs. Beautiful. And this is parsley, and you can be quite generous with parsley. There's probably, I don't know, tablespoon and a half. You'll learn how you like it as you do it each time. This is a real simple way to cook spaghetti sauce. In a lot of countries, Italy, they don't have, if you go to a restaurant, you just get pasta with maybe it would have been cooked in a different way where you don't get meat, you just get the sauce. Maybe it would have been cooked in anchovy, garlic, maybe a little bit of cream, or sometimes they use egg in their Bolognese or pasta dishes like that. So this is just how we do it here in Australia, and I'm sure people do it similar around the globe, but this is just showing you the basics. Now, we'll just give these onions every now and then a bit of a turn. You can probably see there's a bit of colour coming on there. Right, you don't need to do too much more other than just wait a little bit, and as this mince starts cooking through, then we'll turn it over. So turn the camera off just for a couple of minutes and we'll come back. Alright, that's been a couple more minutes. I haven't done anything yet. I'm about to turn all the meat over on itself. All those herbs and spices are mixing in. And we're yet to add the sauce, which is probably too far away. So that's been cooking for about 5 or 6 minutes all up. You still see these bits that are still raw. It's okay. Now again, split these onions over. They're getting very close. In fact, I'm happy to incorporate them now in the dish. There are many ways to cook spaghetti. I know. This is just a simple way for people who've never cooked before. We're pretty close. Most of that ground beef is now cooked, or getting very close. Now what I'm going to add, I can open the damn jar. Oh, got it. Again, this is a sauce that's used quite commonly in Australia in lasagna and pasta dishes. I don't know if I'll use all of it, probably about half. That's probably half a jar, maybe a touch more. Now we're just going to mix all this in. This is your spaghetti sauce. It's going to be in and out going on top of your spaghetti, or in our case, linguine. Like I say, you can do it many ways. You can add different things. I don't mind that there's little lumps that make a lot of people want all the lumps gone, and you know, each to their own. Right, because that sauce is in there now, I'll give it a couple of minutes for that to just work its way through. We're very close to that sauce being finished. So let's give it another minute simmering away and we'll come back. Alright, I actually ended up tipping the rest of the jar in of that sauce because there's only about a third left, so but why not stick it in. Now all the meat's cooked. Always do this though when you're cooking. Taste it. Oh, that's good. At this stage you might think, oh, a bit more pepper, a bit more salt. But that's just perfect. So that is your sauce. Now we're going to put that aside for 15 or 20 minutes, probably by the time we finish cooking the pasta, probably 15 minutes. But that's okay, this will reheat very, very quickly. So I'm just going to put this over to the bench. All I'm going to do is put a cloth over it, so no bugs or flies can fly into it. Alright, let's get the hot water in for the pasta. Nothing complicated with this side of things, it's just a pot of cold water. I'm going to turn the heat on high. I want to get this boiling, so I put my pasta in when the water's boiling. Now I add about, I don't know, that much salt, which is probably a quarter of a teaspoon just in the cooking process. That salts your pasta, nothing special about that. And like I say, I've broken this packet simply by putting over there the bench and cracking it, and that's what I'll be putting into the pot. Is half a packet, which works out, this is 500 grams at 250, oh, I don't know, 3/4 of a pound of pasta for 2 people. That's a lot of pasta. So all we need to do now is wait for that to boil, and then we can put our pasta in there. We shall come back. Alright, the pot is telling me it's boiling, as you can see. Make sure the steam goes that way. That's what you want your water look. You don't want it up here, and you don't want it just simmering. You want to boil. Now I'm going to take half of the spaghetti, like I said, put it in. Good, get in there. That's alright, you can make mistakes like that. Very forgiving. Now, just lean on that as you will, and it will just go into the pot. No problem. Get a pair of tongs at this stage. Give it a bit of a twist. You see there's a bit of parsley coming off these tongs because I used it in the sauce. Not a problem. Now you all know what spaghetti looks like. I'll just get this one out to show you. This is a linguine, which is probably not focusing too well there. It's very flat. Really good if you're making things with white sauces or cream sauces or whatever. It soaks up very, very well. And we like it in our spaghetti bowl. We do from time to time just have normal spaghetti. So if that's what you like, by all means. Now the cooking time of spaghetti will vary. You can get angel hair. Oh, bit of bread. I don't know where they come from. I will show you. We've got heaps of different spaghetti. You can get angel hair, which if you look at that, it's really, really fine. You can have that as well, but this is really good to put a handful in some soups. Like you get a chicken stock and some chicken and veg. This type of spaghetti, which is already broken up, purposely made for soups, but you can have the longer type of angel hair and it can go in the pot. You can have, these are cool. These are like little shells. You know the story, there's hundreds of different pastas that you could use. Just put those back. Now that's what you need, a boil. What you can't have is a pot that doesn't look like it's boiling, because you'll end up with a lot of water in your spaghetti. And this will take about 10 minutes, pretty normal for linguine or spaghetti. About 10 minutes. We'll just keep an eye on it. I shall let that do its job and just simmer away, and I'll come back in about 4. Keep your eye on spaghetti. If you walk away from this and it boils over, you'll have a hell of a mess. So make sure you're in the kitchen watching this, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, it's been about 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes from the time I put the spaghetti in. I've just kept giving it a bit of a swirl like that. It's got a nice gentle boil going. I just put the lid on off kilter so the steam can come out. If you did that, it would boil over. You'd have a hell of a mess. Now, how I check spaghetti, you don't have to use your fingers, but when you've been cooking for a long time, it doesn't bother you, trust me. So there's an old test. If you pull it and it's a bit rough to come apart, that's al dente. That's just about right. To the taste, it's just got a little bit of firmness. So, mind you, it's not stopping me eating it. I'll give it about another minute. A lot of people make a mistake when they first start learning to cook spaghetti, is that they'll overcook it, and that will be disastrous. It ends up soaking up a lot of water. It tastes stodgy and awful. I don't even like tin spaghetti. I know people like SpaghettiOs, and you're welcome to them. Right, that's going to need about another half minute, I think, and then we'll be ready to put that in a colander and strain it. And then as soon as I take this off the heat, I'm going to put my sauce back on. So while I'm straining the spaghetti out and draining it and bringing it back out here to dish up, the sauce is already starting to reheat. So I think we're pretty close. that off. Now I'm going to put the lid on, but I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put my sauce back on, which is cooling down. It's still quite warm. I'll just readjust that. There you go. It's cooling down, but it's certainly going to warm up quite quickly. So let me go and strain the spaghetti. We'll come back. You'll see the sauce is ready to go on top and we'll dish it up. Alright, I've just gone to the kitchen and I'll show you. I've just used this colander to strain the spaghetti, or linguine in this case. And in that minute, this has already started to reheat, as you can see. A bit of a stir. Probably about another 30 seconds and we will be ready to dish up. So like I say, if you've got any questions, particularly new people who are learning to cook, please ask. For those genuine, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. I'm no expert, I'm a cook, I love food, and this is a way of making spaghetti bolognese my way. You'll probably have a different way. If you've got a different way, put it in the comments. More than happy to try different people's foods, that's for sure. Alright, getting pretty close. You're going to taste it again. And here. Oh. It's been a while since I made spaghetti bog actually, and that's pretty damn fine. Alright, I'm happy with that. Let's turn off the heat. It's smooth, the little burner. If you've never seen one of these, let me just quickly show you the canister. Little canisters go inside there, close it up, and if you ever get one, try and get one with a flat lip. You'll probably see what I mean. See how that's flat on this side here? You can buy some that have got a bulge. Don't get those. They can be explosive, but these flat ones are very, very good. So that's the burner. Now you've made your spaghetti, it's ready to go. We don't have enormous meals, that's a good sized plate, as big as my hand. So what we're going to do first, let's put a little bit of spaghetti on there. Again, this is linguine. You can have what you like. It should be enough for my wife. And the amounts that I've shown you today are meant for 2 people, which is okay. If you're just a single person, by all means, save a meal for the next day. Right, let's put a bit of that sauce on there. Beautiful. Now we tend to use cheddar cheese for on top of our spaghetti bog, and you can put as little or as much as you like on it. Right, and you can leave it at that if you like, but we do like adding a little bit to our spaghetti bog. You do not have to do this, but we put a bit of sour cream on top, which is yum, and then we like to add a bit of fresh sliced tomato. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. That's crying out for just a tiny little bit of black pepper on top of that. To finish it off, I like it hot chili sauce. My wife likes sweet. This is a sweet Thai chili. So there you go. That's what that one is. Sweet Thai chili. And that is how we do a spaghetti bolognese. It can be done many ways. This is delicious, and if you've never ever done this before, give it a go. And if you're unsure, like I say, please feel free to ask in the comment section any questions you've got about it. So if you have been, thank you for watching.